also say there should be a 0 alcohol limit for new drivers. And the weather, a dry start for most, followed by sunshine and showers. Those are the headlines. News in detail at 8.
Oh, Fran, look. I've a letter here from Dame Leslie Douglas.
Oh, yes, right.
Psst. Psst.
Yeah.
Logan.
Yeah.
That new idea we've had for the show about the phone-in, better give it a miss in view of the current situation. Know what I mean?
Nice idea for a little competition today.
BBC Radio 2.
In between the records this morning, I shall be self-flagellating. Wouldn't it be nice? The Beach Boys. Oh, boy, are you in trouble now, says Megan. And so many of my listeners writing in about this extraordinary piece of self-abuse that's going on in the BBC. Oh, are you in trouble now? I saw the DG on News 24 yesterday claiming he wants to put an end to the deceit and deception that's apparently rife through the BBC. So that's an end to people with silly pseudonyms writing from places that don't exist about things that never happened. An end to the belief that Boggy can play the organ, that Deadly drinks like a fish, and Fran never imprisons fine young men in their understairs cupboard. All that you've left is the music, a lot of dead air, and your fireworks display. There's not much left, is there? And there's more. I could do the whole morning on this. Now, I hear they're about to point out that the Flowerpot Men weren't Flowerpot Men, that Match of the Day is actually a collection of Subbuteo men filmed from a distance, that Sue Lawley never really existed, that there were 3 Ronnies, Hugh Edwards is Scottish, My Family isn't really funny, Monty Python didn't have a flying circus, Stuart Hall is a figment of a very warped imagination, Triangle was written by Bill Shakespeare, and Wake Up to Wogan doesn't have any listeners. Well, that should keep the solicitors from the door for a while. And then we'll find out that Superman can't fly, Gordon Ramsay doesn't swear, and Fran Godfrey's voice is dubbed by an angel. What are we going to do at Christmas about Santa Claus? That's Len Horridge. P.S. The answer to your phone quiz is...
Didn't I make you feel that you were the only man? Lord, didn't I give you everything that a woman possibly can? Well, each time I tell myself, well, I think I don't
Beverly Knight. Peace of my heart. 95% of the mail this morning is about the BBC beating itself up. No more prizes to give away on Wake Up to... Oh, no, thank God we don't do any prizes. We've never picked up a phone in our lives here, okay? And it's live, okay? See if you can touch me. And aren't the print media having a wonderful time giving the BBC a kicking? They've always wanted to do this. We leave ourselves open for it, of course. Anyway, the guilty programmes I see. Comic Relief, TMI, Sport Relief, Children in Need. Now, I don't know about the others, but this was a small mistake made in Scotland. Nobody died, all right? Let's not undermine the whole work being done by Children in Need with something as small as this. So, dear Terry Trotsky, so we've returned to the days of looking for reds under the bed, eh? Yes, the Cold War has returned, lads. First, the poor chap poisoned by Polonius. Now, Boris Bekarovsky, claiming he was going to be assassinated in a broom cupboard at that famous restaurant, Nobu. Well, I've got my copy of War and Peace ready for any Ruski agent up to no good. A good lamping round the lug holes. That should do the trick. Well done. Well done. Dame Alan Neagle of Stalin House, North Somerset. Now, yesterday, I did read out a story. Thank you, Neil. Neil Son Wheels. You read out the tale of the history teacher who wrote to parents recommending that pupils be encouraged to watch Rome on BBC Two in order to aid their appreciation of classical Roman history. Heavens above them. It's disgusting. And this reminded me of when I was a young tig wrestling with the intricacies of Latin at school. Oh, indeed. Mensa. One day, my dear mother suggested I should be allowed to stay up past my normal bedtime in order to watch the film Up Pompey, starring the late Frankie Hard, as it would help my classical Latin studies. I did watch it, although it didn't benefit my knowledge of the language. It did teach me a thing or two about conjugations. Carpe diem. Cave Canem. Peradjo ad astra.
Ice will melt, water will boil. You and I can shake off this mortal coil. It's bigger than us. You don't have to worry about it. Ready or not, here comes the drop. You feel lucky when you know where you are. You know it's gonna come true. Here in your arms I remember. It's only natural that I should want to be there with you. It's only natural that you should feel the same way too. It's easy when you don't try. Going on first impressions, man in a cage. He's made his confession now. You've seen me at my worst, and it won't be the last time I'm down there. I want you to know I feel completely at peace. Read me like a book that's falling down between your knees. Please let me have my way with you. It's only natural that I should want to be there with you. It's only natural that you should feel the same way too. It's circumstantial, something written in the sky, and we don't even have to try. And we'll be shaking like mud, buildings of glass, sinking to the bay. They'll be under the rocks again. You don't have to say, I know you're afraid. It's only natural that I should want to be there with you. It's only natural that you should feel the same way too. It's circumstantial. It's something I was born to. It's only natural
That's Crowded House. Barrowland's telling me that goes back to 1992. New stuff, eh? It's only natural. It's almost 7:45. I can tell you this because my clock is working now. I'm gutted. Are you? Stevenage, what happened to you? I'm devastated. Yesterday was the season finale of Boston Legal. Oh, do you know, I absolutely agree with you. It's the best thing on television. A brilliant piece of acting. William Shatner, who brings television acting to a new high, I would say. Never moves. Little eyes, just in the back of his head. Fat face. Fantastic. And James Spader. It is a brilliant series, and of all of those American series, it's the one that addresses the problems of American society. And, while having a laugh at the same time. And what am I going to do on a Wednesday evening for the next 6 months or so? No more getting punched by the wife as I rock the bed, chuckling over Denny Crane's weekly exploits. Ah, Denny Crane. I'm going to be at a loss. I might even take up drinking. Don't do that, Neil. You're not allowed to do that anymore. And I wonder if you've seen the item about the man, says, thank you for this letter, who submitted several famous works. I've heard about this on some old radio station as I was getting up this morning. Famous works of Jane Austen, sending them to publishers and passing them off as his own. Unaltered, he just sent them off. Well, it seemed very few of the publishers actually spotted what he was up to and rejected his efforts. Nice to see, as ever, we've capable people in charge of discovering new talent. So I'm going to do the same thing with the entire works of William Shakespeare. I'm getting in there before somebody rumbles what's going on. I expect to make a small fortune. Now, if you'll forgive me, I'll just exit, pursued by a bear. That's from Maeve Binchy. Nice to hear from you, Maeve. Nelly Furtado.
I looked at your face. I saw that all the love had died. I saw that we had forgotten to take the time. I saw that you couldn't care less about what you do. You couldn't care less about the lies. You could find the time to cry. We forgot about love. We forgot about faith. We forgot about trust. We forgot about us. And now our love's floating out the window. Our love's floating out the back door. Our love
That's a recondite little song, isn't it? Nelly Furtado. In God's hands. Sure, isn't that where we all are?
It's true enough, sir.
In the palm of his hand. In the interests of good taste and professionalism. You're in the wrong place. For heaven's sake, who do you think you're writing to? The Blown Ranger. Said perhaps you'd care to reprimand your tea lady, come travel reporter.
That's me.
For her abuse of the English language.
Oh, what have I done now?
Gisa Cole.
Gisa Cole? You've told me, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's already slapped me for this.
Is neither acceptable nor an original phrase to use in such a finely honed and well-bred programme. Indeed, this is true. Do I polish this to a fine sheen for you to come up and say, Gisa Cole?
You know, I'm trying to inject a little bit of, street cred.
I suppose so. A bit of the old glottal stop. Mm-hmm. Especially from someone who purports to be Welsh rather than Cockney. Perhaps a slot in the afternoon wilderness. That is, Steve Wright or Chris Evans would better suit. Hard. Not me. No, I didn't write this. I didn't write this. No. Well, I'm sorry, I can't admit to that, can I? Oh no. Anyway... Grace, Style and Humour has deserted Radio 2. Where is her share of the proceeds from that 0870? No, don't start.
Stop it.
Then stop it.
No, I didn't.
Get them all going again.
BBC Radio 2.
Battered and bruised BBC.
A709 Dumfries to Lockerbie Road. I'm afraid it remains closed at Hunter House, very near to Loch Maben. It's as a result of flood damage. You're being diverted via the A701. Police still dealing with the incident, which is blocking 2 lanes on the southbound M6 near Stoke-on-Trent. That's junction 16 to 15. It's after the Kiel services. Very long queues. The guys are saying now it's over 5 miles. Dewsbury Dasher says the queue on the M40 to leave the southbound side at junction 9. That's the A34 to Oxford. About a mile so far. Ipswich, an accident taken out a lane on the westbound A14, the Orwell Bridge, and there's traffic on the southbound A12 in Essex, which has been brought to a halt. The police are just clearing away an accident before you get to junction 13 at Ingatstone. They hope that will be a very short closure. It might have reopened already, actually. It was only going to be about 10 minutes. So on the M1 from Luton Junction 11 into the long-term roadworks, of course, always busy there. There was a breakdown, though, which has been recovered. The breakdown on the clockwise M25, that one's been sorted out. It was on the QE2 bridge. You're getting back to normal there, but you've still got the delays past the M26 exit at junction 5, and the M5, 2 lanes closed northbound, junction 29 to 28, Exeter through to Clumpton. Lanes 1 and 2 are closed. Thanks, Spud and Chippy. The guys say the queues are to junction 30. That's about 2 miles. If you would be so kind and you see a problem on the roads, I would be delighted to receive your call. The number is 08700 100 200.
And you're here in person, aren't you?
I am. It's me.
You're not,
it's only me.
You're not merely a representation or some kind of thing worked up by a computer, are you?
No holograms here.
Lollipop says, well, that's my week ruined. I like to get up in the morning and sit quietly in the kitchen. Who doesn't? And listen to your dulcet tones, But on hearing not only the voice of the old travel wench, I don't like the way they treat you.
I think it's more than I deserve, frankly.
You're a lady. But also the voice of Miss God-fearing. He who thinks he should be obeyed jumped out of bed this morning, actually managed to wash before noon, doused himself in aftershave, and is now prancing around the house singing, "When you're in love with 2 beautiful women."
He gets around well, doesn't he?
He needs to get a grip. Can you wait a minute while I lure him into his shed with a cooked breakfast and lock him in there for the day?
LA. Too much for the man. Too much for the man. He couldn't make it. So he's leaving the life he's come to know. Ooh. He said he's going back to find. Going back to find. Ooh, what's left of his world. The world he left behind. Not so long ago. He's leaving. Oh, man. rather live in his word than live without him in mine. World is his and hers alone. He kept dreaming, ooh, that someday he'd be a star. A superstar, but he didn't get far. But he so found out the hard way that dreams don't always come true. Oh no, so he burned all his hopes, and he even sold his old car for a one-way ticket back to the life he once knew. Oh yes he did, he said he would. I know he's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. Yeah, said he's going back to find, ooh, a simpler place and time. Oh, yeah, not gonna be with him on that midnight train to Georgia. I'd rather live in his world than live without him in mine. Oh, he's leaving
He's on his way.
on the midnight train to Georgia. Yeah. Y'all,
Gladys Knight. Why don't they just let her sing it on her own? That's repeating every second line. Oh, like, hang on, there's a message coming in. Mayday, Mayday. Great record. Diana Ross, Supreme.
Through the mirror of my mind, time after time, I see reflections of you and me. Reflections of the way life used to be. Reflections of the love you took from me. Oh, I'm all alone now. No love to shield me. Trapped in a world that's a distorted reality. Happiness you took from me and left me alone with only memories. Through the mirror of my mind, through these tears that I'm crying, reflects the hurt I can't control. 'Cause although you're gone, I keep holding on to the happy time. Ooh, and you know, as I peer through the window of lost time, looking over my yesterday and all the love I gave all this day. All the love that I've wasted, all the tears that I've tasted, all the pain. Through the hollow of my tears, I see a dream that's lost from the hurt that you have caused. Everywhere I turn, seems like everything I see reflects the love that used to be. In you I put all my faith and trust, right before my eyes, my world has turned to dust. After all the nights I sat alone and wept, just a handful of promises are all that's left of loving you. Reflections of the way life used to be. Reflections of the love you took from me. In you I put all my faith and trust, right before my eyes, my world has turned to dust.
It's 88 to 91 FM. That's Radio 2 from the BBC.
The news at 8 o'clock on Thursday, the 19th of July. Good morning, this is Fran Godfrey. The new Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, has admitted that she smoked cannabis when she was a student. BBC executives face suspension over the faking of programme competition winners. And MPs are calling for the driving age to be raised to 18 in order to reduce the number of deaths on the road. The Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, has admitted that she smoked cannabis when she was a student at Oxford University. Yesterday, the Prime Minister indicated a toughening in policy on cannabis use and said the drug could be reclassified from Class C to Class B. Speaking on GMTV this morning, Ms Smith said she should not have used the drug then, and she didn't think people should take it now.
I think it was wrong that I smoked it when I did. I haven't done for over 25 years. I share other people's concerns about the effect that cannabis has, particularly on young people, the mental health problems. So I think in some ways I've learnt my lesson, and I've got a responsibility as Home Secretary now to make sure that we put in place the laws and the support, the information to make sure that we carry on bringing cannabis use down, which we are doing.
The BBC is introducing measures to restore trust in its programmes as inquiries continue into how audiences were deceived by faked competition winners on well-known programmes. Some executives are likely to be suspended and phone-in competitions were halted. More from our media correspondent Torrin Douglas.
The process of restoring trust in BBC programmes has begun. Phone-related competitions were suspended from midnight, but other measures will take longer. Inquiries are continuing into the incidents on Comic Relief, Sports Relief, Children in Need and 3 other shows. Executives want to know why these weren't reported when problems with premium rate competitions first emerged earlier this year. The Shadow Culture Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, said a hornet's nest of deception had been uncovered, and the Liberal Democrat culture spokesman, Don Foster, said broadcasters had a lot to do to regain the public's trust.
The government is launching a new strategy for dealing with crime to try to dispel the perception that the risk of being a victim is increasing. Official statistics have shown that crime levels have actually been falling for most of the past decade. At the same time, a committee of MPs has concluded that billions of pounds of extra funding for the police don't appear to have played a part in bringing crime rates down. The Home Affairs Select Committee says the biggest falls over the past 10 years came before the injection of money. One of the members, James Clapperson, says the police need to spend their money more effectively.
We've urged upon them that they should look more at convictions for the serious offences which really cause concern to members of the public. And they also, I think, share with us our concern that far too much police time is being spent on paperwork. We've been warning about this over the years, and not sufficient progress is being made, and far too much police time is being spent on doing paperwork, some of which may not be necessary, when we expect to see the police out there on the front line on the streets.
Voters are going to the polls in 2 by-elections today. They're being held in Ealing Southall in West London and Tony Blair's former constituency, Sedgefield, in County Durham. MPs on the Commons Transport Committee have called for the legal driving age to rise to 18. They also want to see a 0 alcohol limit for newly qualified drivers in an effort to reduce the number of deaths. The Labour MP Louise Ellman is a member of the committee.
Road casualties are actually going down, except for that group of young new drivers where casualty rates are actually going up. 1 out of 8 drivers are under 25 and new drivers, yet that accounts for 1/3 of those killed on the roads and 1/2 of those killed at night.
At least 20 people were crushed to death when a 7-storey building collapsed in Mumbai. Police in the Indian city are unsure of how many people lived in the building, but say up to 40 could still be trapped. An explosion in Manhattan has caused panic among commuters and shoppers. Clouds of steam, mud and rubble were thrown in the air near Grand Central Station. 1 man died and about 20 other people were wounded. The mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, said the explosion wasn't caused by terrorism, but a failure of the infrastructure.
The steam has been turned off, and there's no more vapor coming out of the hole. In terms of injuries, sadly, we believe that 1 person died from cardiac arrest. There were 3 or 4 firefighters hurt with minor injuries treated at the scene, and 20-odd people, civilians, who were injured.
A number of workers at a zoo in the German town of Erfurt have been charged with shooting some of the animals and selling them as meat. Officials know that some deer were killed, but the local Animal Protection League said they fear that this was just the tip of the iceberg. And the weather. Much of the country will be dry and bright, although parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland may have some showers. BBC News, it's 8:05.
I wonder, Fran, if I could call upon you to join me in the struggle to regain the public's trust.
I'll do my best.
88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2.
Slightly overworked reworking by JXL. Great Elvis Presley record. A little more conversation. Anyway, the other side of the 8 o'clock years, it's 9 minutes past 8. My take, says Janet that cardigan of Racy at Cheltenham, has come up with a brilliant idea after helping me to shop for chicken this weekend. She could buy anything, it all tastes like chicken anyway, after noting the indecision and the time spent on deliberating over which chicken to buy. Free-range, organic, corn-fed, barn-bred, plain ordinary chicken. Apparently they're all as happy as the other. They could be out running in the grass or sitting in rows. They're still happy chickens, or unhappy chickens. Hard to tell. We plumped for one, deciding it looked as if it had been a happy chicken, says Janet. And then the young geezer came up with an idea. He said it'd be good if there was an obituary label on the bottom of each pack, which would facilitate buying. Brief details such as Geraldine led a happy and fulfilled life, striving hard to make the most of her opportunities and never being downhearted when faced with adversity. She'd like it to be known she'd be best served in a mild curry sauce. Scritti politi. No patty.
In a world where we knew what was true. Oh, Patty, don't leave the life that I left you with. It's been such a long time, and I know we tried together to discover why we failed the test of our time. Oh, Patty, don't lead the life that they made.
Everybody wants to be loved. Honestly. Nobody wants to be actively disliked. Perhaps a few tabloid editors, Jeremy Paxman, John Humphreys, Scritti Politi, and oh, Patty. A little verse here. This is rather good from, I think it's Henry, but he's going, no, Hugh of Harpenden. I'm looking for something in beige, something quite neutral and right for my age. This is that song, I'm looking for something in red. Nothing too youthful nor cutting a dash, just comfy fitting, and not too much cash, true to my image and suitably sage. I'm looking for something in beige. Nice. I think we have to recognise, says Martin, or Zog as he's better known, that every so often the parallel universe kicks in, and this becomes a period we all have to live through. It's a bit like a fairground ride. We're in such a period now. You're not really broadcasting today, the open golf is a repeat, and somebody will have some weather. In a little while, we'll return to normality. There's nothing normal around here. I'm a little baffled, and I want to know about a home improvement scheme which has appeared on Corrie. This is Kathy. Apparently, it appears if you have a house fire, you need to go on holiday for a week or so, kind neighbours come in and decorate for you, and on your return you come home to a house with a completely new layout. Stairs where the kitchen was, a new kitchen, and a fantastic scheme. Apparently Ashley and Claire haven't noticed yet, though, which is worrying. Nor did Claire notice that when baby Freddie was a day off his first birthday, he had no hair. But the next day, his birthday, he had curls all over his head. There's money to be made from that hair restorer. Continuity, please.
Walks into the room, feels like a big balloon. Said, hey girls, you are beautiful. Diet Coke and a pizza, please. Diet Coke, I'm on my knees screaming, big girls, you are beautiful. You take your skinny girl, I feel like I'm gonna die. Cause a real woman needs a real man, here's why. You take your girl and multiply her by 4. Now a whole lot of woman needs a whole lot more. Get yourself to the butterfly lounge, find yourself a big lady. Big boy, come on around and they'll be gonna do, baby. No need to fantasize, since I was in my braces. Water in a hole with the girls around and curves in all the right places. Big girls, you are beautiful. 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 Walks into the room, feels like a big balloon. I said, hey girls, you are beautiful. Diet Coke and a pizza, please. Diet Coke, I'm on my knees screaming, big girl, you are beautiful. You take your girl and multiply her by 4. Now a whole lot of woman needs a whole lot more. Get yourself to the butterfly lounge, find yourself a big lady. Big boy, come on around and they'll be gonna do, baby. No need to fantasize, since I was in my braces. Water in a hole with the girls around and curves in all the right places. Big girls, you are beautiful. 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 Get yourself to the butterfly lounge, find yourself a big lady. Big boy, come on around and they'll be calling you, baby. No need to fantasize, since I was in my braces. Water in a hole with the girls around and curves in all the right places. Big girls, you are beautiful. 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 Oh, you are beautiful. Get yourself to the butterfly lounge, find yourself a big lady. Big boy, come on around and they'll be gonna do, baby. No need to fantasize, since I was in my braces. Water in a hole with the girls around and curves in all the right places. Big girl, you are beautiful. Big girl, you are beautiful. Big girl, you are beautiful.
Mika.
What's going on?
You are beautiful. Do you know that? One day, Andrew Motion, poet laureate writing
Excellent.
Girlies.
Thank you.
A moment of your attention. One day I saw a Dalmatian dog. It was mainly white but spotty. The thing that really makes my day is the voice of Wogan's travel totty.
Bob.
You see,
So
Andrew
this is
Motion.
it.
Just a touch.
It's clever. It's
Perfectly
clever, yes.
crafted.
Just a touch of mastery. That's all you need. Poet laureate. And then, of course, you've got Crookie in Old Bangor Town. I hope Miss Godfrey didn't get too rough when Billy dropped in to do his stuff. Is Billy still there?
4 hours he was there. Can you imagine what that's like in plumber's fees?
That can tire a girl. I fear her behaviour was unbecoming when she called him in to probe her plumbing. You see?
He came and did me taps. Oh, taps.
Oh, shuffle off to Buffalo.
Oh,
but now there's a ban on inveigling chaps with a made-up pretext of fixing taps. So although it caused her anguish and pain, I hope she let him go home again. Did you release him?
He said, well, he did say, how much do you charge for a bed overnight here? Because he thought he was never going to get away, poor thing. It dripped, it didn't fit, it didn't come off, it didn't go on. It was just endless.
I think I know the feeling.
A709 Dumfries to Lockerbie Road still closed at Hunter House near Loch Maben. It's because of the flood damage. Beverley is stuck in the regular queues on the eastbound M62. That's junction 25 to 27, Brighouse, Sutton, Leeds. And Nick is travelling out of Liverpool towards Manchester on the A580, the East Lancashire Road. He reports very heavy traffic, particularly around the St Helens area. Now, the police are still dealing with an incident on the southbound M6 near Stoke-on-Trent. 2 lanes are closed. This is from the Kiel services towards junction 15. Big queues back to junction 16. That's got to be 5 miles away. Recovery is underway. Caller in Lincolnshire reporting heavy traffic on the southbound A16 as you go past Spalding. And at Ipswich, an accident is being picked up off the westbound A14, the Orwell Bridge. Southern side of Harlow, there's an accident which has taken out all of the A414. This is both directions, Edinburgh Way, at the junction with the Elizabeth Way, the A1169, and the southbound A12 in Essex, all open again after that accident just before junction 13 at Ingatstone. M5, 2 lanes still closed northbound near Exeter, junction 29 to 28, that's at Cullumpton. Lanes 1 and 2 are out. Queues about 2 miles long. Give us a call. 08700 100 200.
She's changing.
Raising the tone.
Exactly.
Quite
because
right.
we were down round about the lowest common denominator there for a long time. But anyway, we're live. We don't care.
We are
We're
live,
safe.
yes. Oh, we're all right.
safe, yeah.
You can't record the news.
No, you can't.
You cannot.
Although the news
No,
did,
no,
for a
no.
long period, did say, it told us what somebody was going to say
Ah, well,
a
yes.
little bit later on, and then when they said it, they reported it again, and then after they'd said it, they reported
what
that
they
they'd
had
said
said.
it.
Yes, yes.
But that's gone, apparently.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
All right.
Gordy doesn't like that.
I'll watch it.
Have you noticed that Scary Stella? Do you watch EastEnders?
I don't, but I've heard you can't not know about Scary
Do you watch
Stella.
EastEnders? You're a Corrie
I'm
girl.
a
aren't
Corrie
you?
girl, yes. I'm a Corrie
Well,
girl.
there's a girl called Stella.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, who pinches little boys.
No.
Yes,
Where?
she does.
Oh, I see. Pinches.
She's scary. Yes.
Sorry.
Is Marlon
Well,
Brando in this?
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, Stella! Is that the same thing?
No, not at all. Although, your reference does carry absolutely no weight with me. That's Scary Stella.
Yeah.
My grandson, Freddie, calls me Scary Papa. But that's only
with
because
good reason.
he's seen me without me teeth. Scary Stella from EastEnders. Oh, she's a wicked one. She's as mad as a box of biscuits.
No.
Yeah. She should be working here. Just like our very own Fragrant Fran.
Oh.
They are detecting
Scary
a similarity.
Stella. Scary Fran.
Frightening Fran. Frightening Fran, that's what you are.
So, are you the next to terrorise little Ben?
Little Ben?
Little Ben. You know Big Ben. Well, this is
got a
Little
small
Ben.
o'clock face.
Little Ben in EastEnders.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't terrorise any little Ben.
Well, he's frightened, I can tell you, of Scary.
Is he?
But
Yes.
I don't think she's going to last.
You don't think so?
Something tells me her end is nigh.
Oh, not the end nigh on EastEnders.
Yeah. She'll probably be knocked down by a passing car.
Or tram.
Same way they got rid of Marilyn, that nice McCutcheon girl.
Yeah, one of those taxis will get her, because there's always taxis turning up.
Always a
aren't
bunch
there?
of daffodils, isn't there? Things happen with bunches of daffodils as well. Dirty Den went with a bunch of daffodils, didn't he?
Yeah, he came back too.
I'm surprised he wouldn't do anybody any harm, would he? A bunch of daffodils.
We keep a lively eye on the soaps.
It's a brand new morning, sun is in the sky.
It's a new day dawning, weather's in the highs. Believe in your tomorrow, lead and they will follow. So get up, get up, get up.
This is your wake-up call.
You're the main attraction, so get up on your feet. It's a chain reaction, so get out on the street. Lose your
Don't you know you got the inner strength to fight it all? So get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Stop hesitating, do it while you can. 'Cause the world is waiting, come on, lend a hand. Take the right direction, make the right connection, and get up, get up, get up. This is your wake-up call. It's down to you now if you stand or if you fall. And anytime you're feeling that your back's against the wall, don't you know you got the inner strength to fight it all? So get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. It's a brand new morning, sun is in the sky. It's a new day dawning, weather's in the highs. Feeling good to go, turn on your radio and get up, get up, get up. This is your wake-up call. 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 This is your wake-up call.
Very suitable. That's Songbirds. Amy, Flick and Lynette. That's very good, isn't it? That's a new record, new group. Songbirds. Very nice. Here, your personal media watcher here. Best possible news to move away from all this talk of integrity, something that really matters. Yes, your complaint the other day that Paris Hilton was missing from the headlines has been answered. I can reveal she's taken up a half-page spread in one of the tabloids, barely dressed in a skimpy and revealing leopard skin swimsuit and hot pants. And hot pants. However, just how many of these noble beasts met an untimely end to provide that clobber, that's not recorded. Maroon 5.
You
That's Maroon 5. Makes me wonder. It's 88 to 91 FM. That'll be Radio 2 from the BBC.
The news headlines at 8:30. The Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, has admitted she smoked cannabis while at university in Oxford. She said she hadn't done it for over 25 years and she shared concerns about the effects of the drug. Some BBC executives could be suspended while investigations continue into several competitions where winners were faked. All phone-in contests have been taken off the air. The government's launching a new crime strategy aimed at reducing the fear of crime. British people are more worried about being a victim of crime, despite figures showing that crime levels are falling. MPs say the legal driving age should be raised to 18. It's one of a number of suggestions aimed at reducing the number of young drivers killed on the roads. A study of the casualty department at St Thomas's Hospital in London has found an increase in alcohol-related injuries since the licensing laws were relaxed. The researchers say it's the opposite of the effect the legislation was designed to produce. And the weather, a dry start, will be followed by sunshine and showers. That's it, more at 9. That's it, more at 9.
Oh, good. Just wanted to show we're live.
Live, where's live?
Yes, we're all live here. Phew.
Only just.
Call this living.
One night in a disco on the outskirts of Frisco, I was cruising with my favorite gang. The place was so boring, filled with out-of-towners touring. I knew that it wasn't my thing. I really wasn't caring, but I felt my eyes staring at a guy who stuck out in the crowd. He had the kind of body that would shame Adonis, and a face that would make any man proud. Oh, what wow! He's the greatest dancer. Oh, what wow! That I've ever seen. Oh, what wow! He's the greatest dancer. Oh, what wow! The champion of dance, his moves will put you in a trance, and he never leaves the disco alone. Arrogance but not conceit, as a man he's complete, my creme de la creme, please take me home. He wears the finest clothes, the best designers, heaven knows. Ooh, from his head down to his toes. Halston, Gucci, Fiorucci, he looks like a steal, that man is dressed to kill. Oh, what wow, he's the greatest dancer. Oh, what wow, I've ever seen. He's the greatest dancer. Oh, what wow, I've ever seen.
He sounds a major bore, doesn't he?
Wow, he's the greatest dancer. Wow.
Halston, Fiorucci. Who do you think he is? P. Diddy? Sister Sledge. So there, Atlantic View, Norwich, is the home of Donegal, you see. Any chance we could have a short promo of what's to come this morning? I'm having to switch from you to the Golf on 5 Live, and I might miss something witty or important. Not in this programme. You're all right, just safe as houses there. See that old Chris Evans? He's pulled a fast one, hasn't he? Up there in Carnoustie, doing his programme. Good little golfer himself, you know. Oh, yes. Tidy. Hey, Boyle. Ah, Fat Taff. And you used to be a jockey, Fat Taff. Don't you go worrying about this regaining the trust of the listeners nonsense. In your case, completely unnecessary. We never trusted you in the first place. Why do you think we shoved your ancestors off to Ireland? Yes. Don't talk to me about that, Fat Taff. I started in Wales, or at least we did. Swam like Billy O. Got over to Ireland, built a few more castles. What happens? English took 'em. Back here. I feel great. After 3... do you indeed? Well, debacle. I'm so pleased. After 3 long years of virtual self-imprisonment, holed up in me little study, working long into the small hours every night, poring over my books and notes, checking and rechecking facts, learning by rote to the point of jeopardizing my health and mental well-being, I am ready. Oh, I now know everything there is to know about popular music from 1950 to the present day. I cannot wait to phone Ken Bruce later today to compete in Popmaster. Wish me luck, Tell. Ah, well...
Now I see you cannot hide your reflection in the glass without checking out the fairest of them all. But you're not looking close enough at the person that you love, and you see that he's heading for a
The Revelations. Baby, I want you to know. Good man. Or woman, as the case may be. Greeting to you, Samantha. Anyway, Samantha's defending Rome. She says she... No, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it was disgusting. And you'll find if you've read any books about actual Rome and the Romans, the programme is very accurate. Well, I found nothing in the speeches of Cicero, or indeed the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, or the milky richness of Ovid. That tells me anything like what I see on Rome, okay? I'd urge you to reconsider your damning comments. And by the way, my mum loves you, and after looking at your webcam, she's impressed that you wear a tie to work. Well, I don't always wear a tie to work, but I'm not going to do a Jon Snow on it. I mean, I'm not surprised. He wants to throw away the ties he's wearing. Well, that's it then. The end of Wake Up to Wogan as we know it. No more emails from anyone who doesn't provide their address, date of birth and vital statistics. Yes, we're going to do a general clean-up here. And I don't think, personally, that Alan Boyd comes from Scotland at all. I have to tell you that my children, and I've written about them, they're very nice, really, quiet little mice who never abuse their mother's better nature, and our family breakfasts are an oasis of calm. The scrambled egg stuck to the dog's back is a figment of my imagination. And Mr. Gardner wants it to be known that never has a man been more reluctant to leave his family to go to work, and that his dinner jacket is safely hanging in his wardrobe and not lost in the back of a London taxi. From Karen in deepest East Monte Carlo. Year of birth, 1980. Vital statistics, 42, 28, 30. Bear down, wild thing.
With you. I tell by the way you dress that you're so real fine. And by the way you talk that you're just my kind. Girl, why should it be that you don't notice me? Can I dance with you? Baby, baby, is there no chance I can take you for the last thing all night long? Yeah, I've been waiting. Now there'll be no hesitating. So before this dance has reached the end, to you across the floor, my love I'll send. I just hope and pray that I'll find a way to say, can I dance with you?
Those are the days. All records were 2 minutes, possibly 15 seconds if they were really long. And that's the Trogs with A Girl Like You. And Lucy, and Justine, the O'Driscolls, you know. Somewhere between the A40 and the Hanger Lane Gyratory, off to West Twyford Primary, before Lucy's last week in school. Oh, she's off. You do university, Lucy? Anyway, I remember, says Justine, my dad taking me to school, listening to you at home and in the car. So maybe one day Lucy will listen to you with her children. Better start taking the older heather honey and the monkey glands. And just to wish you bon vacances as you head off on your peregrinations. Yes, on Friday I shall be away for a couple of weeks. The old darkened room, you know. Leaving the tiller in the capable hands of fellow honour holder and autobiography writer Johnny Walker. Confirming the show is indeed by royal appointment. Can I say that? Okay. It's always good to go away in the knowledge that good things are going on in your absence. This year, you're on the short list. What? The National Television Award? I used to win them every year, you know. And then I said one year, look, I've won this for 10 years. I think it's time I backed off. And so I backed off, and the headline said, "Wogan defeated at last." Anyway, you've been nominated for Most Entertainment Presenter. Major, as Posh would say. No doubt you will be, as reporters are wont to say these days, returning back. Hopefully at the ceremony there won't be an outage to stop the revolve working, as happened the other evening. And we can't have you ending up sat there sitting. That would be too big an art. That's a lovely song. Beautifully sung and entirely inappropriate. Unless, of course, you count the weather. February song from Josh Groban. Nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, she knows how to take a cue, I can tell you. If I hadn't been waving my hands around, she'd have fallen
you were
into...
going to do something else.
You'd have fallen into a deep sleep, wouldn't you? There. Oh, look, Bill Tin Kitchen says, "Oh, Bowlsy, dear Bowlsy, how I wish you were mine, for all day I'd feast you on finest food and wine."
Oh, my kind of guy.
Get a pie out there. Old Bowlsy, dear Bowlsy, would thrill me to bits. I can't read that. What? If you're not interested, please change the name and pass that on to the skinny news bird. I think she's pretty desperate. How many more people do you think you can insult here?
So if you can't have me, you'll have some... It's just... Yeah, it cheapens me.
I know, but then you wouldn't work here if you weren't.
BBC Radio 2.
Southbound M6, this is the good news. Now, near Stoke-on-Trent, junction 16 to 15, it has now fully reopened. The bad news is the queues were back 8 miles and still have to clear. Thanks to Paul. Thanks to Paul for his information. North London, we've got queuing traffic on the A406, the North Circular Road. This is westbound at the A598 Finchley Road. That's Henley's Corner. It's after a vehicle broke down, but it has been recovered. Thanks, Firefly, for the information. Now, the southern side of Harlow, there's an accident which has blocked both sides, the A414, which is the Edinburgh Way. It's at Elizabeth Way, which is the A1169. Slow traffic still on the M25 clockwise, junction 16 to 18, M40 through the Chorley Wood, and also very busy clockwise past the M26 exit, which is junction 5 towards the Clackett Lane services. M5 still 2 lanes closed northbound, junction 29 to 28, Exeter through to Clumpton. Lanes 1 and 2 are out. The queues are back at least 2 miles to junction 30. And thanks to Steve and Andy for warning of an accident in North Wales on the A55. It's if you're travelling west near Colwyn Bay, junction 21. Give us a call if you see a problem. It's 08700 100 200.
That's the very valuable number. Somebody sent me in a little story from the New Malden Methodist Church newsletter.
Yes.
Yeah. So Adam, he's hanging around the Garden of Eden feeling very lonely, and God saw him and said, "What's wrong with you?" And he said he didn't have anyone to talk to. Oh. And God said, "Get around that. We'll get you a companion. A woman." God said, "And this lady will gather food for you, prepare it. She'll cook it for you, and when you discover clothing, she'll wash it, dry it, and iron it for you. She'll always agree with your every decision. She'll never nag you. While if you ever have a disagreement, she'll be the first to admit to being in the wrong.
That's nice.
She'll bear your children and never expect you to get up in the middle of the night to take care of them." And Adam said, "Well, how much will a woman like this cost?" And God said, "Oh, an arm and a leg." Adam thought this was too much to pay, and he said to God, "What'll I get for a rib?" And of course the rest is history. You see?
That'll teach you, lads.
You're a hard woman, aren't you?
Cheapskates. Can't stand them.
Will we arm wrestle again?
You win. It's not fair.
There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I can try for your heart. Our dreams, and they are made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least, for most of the questions in my heart, like why are we here and where do we go, and how come it's so hard? It's not always easy, and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. Moments just might find their way into my dreams tonight. but I know that they'll be gone when the morning light sings or brings new things. For tomorrow night you see that they'll be gone too. Too many things I have to do, but if all of these dreams might find their way into my day-to-day scene, I'd be under the impression I was somewhere in between, with only two, just me and you. Not so many things we got to do, or places we got to be. We'll sit beneath the mango tree now. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. We're somewhere in between together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. I believe the memories, they look so pretty when I sleep. Hey, now and when I wake up, you look so pretty sleeping next to me. But there is not enough time, and there is no song I could sing, and there is no combination of words I could say, but I will still tell you one thing: we're better together.
Jack Johnson. Better together. Oh, absolutely. Together at last. And Rosie says, would you mention the Granny May Reid, who's one of your TOG traffic informants? We need more like you, Granny. She's reporting from the Kingdom of Fife from now on. Her and husband Tom are going to be relocating there. Well, you'll be sorely missed by everybody. I know that, Granny May, because we've loads of those from Monsignor Tony, Maria, Sue, Natasha, Rosie and Ruth. Yeah, everybody. I've been listening to your daily competition, Wake Up to Wogan, for the last 2 years. Oh, yes. Bingo. However, with your soft Irish brogue and selection of easy listening music, I find it myself unable to sustain the challenge of listening to you for very long. In fact, my record is 22 minutes and 33 seconds. Meanwhile, my radio continues to play your program and no doubt adds to your claimed listening figures. I'm sure I'm not alone. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to hear you've packed up and gone home by 8:30. There's a load of conspiracy theorists out there.
Listen again to Guildfest. Listen again to Charlotte Hadley, The Ordinary Boys and Captain. Listen again to Cherry Ghost, Miles Hunt and Dr. Jimmy Cliff. Listen again to Damien Dempsey, Orange Lights and Ghosts. Listen again to Guildfest. Listen again online at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2.
Don't you feel this sometimes?
I'm not sure. Are we allowed to listen again?
funny how my world keeps spinning. Sometimes you can be so silly. You know just how you make me laugh. Ooh, your skin is so lovely. You move me when you touch me. I know that you got my back. Oh, it feels so safe when you hold me. It's already like you know me. Oh, when my mind, you're mine, you're the dream. I sleep, hey, I'm for you, you're everything that I need. I love how you love me. If I make it you make for me. So good for me. Tell me what we're gonna do now.
That's Joss Stone. Tell me what you're going to do now. 88 to 91 FM. Radio 2 from the BBC.
The news at 9 o'clock. This is Fran Godfrey. The Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, has admitted smoking cannabis when she was a student. Yesterday, Gordon Brown told MPs that the government would review the decision taken 3 years ago to downgrade cannabis to a Class C drug. Here's our political correspondent, Norman Smith.
The Home Secretary admitted in a series of media interviews this morning that she had smoked cannabis while she was a student at Oxford University in the 1980s. Ms Smith acknowledged she'd been wrong to do so, but said it had happened more than 25 years ago. She said she shared people's concerns about the effect of cannabis, particularly on young people, and hoped now to use her position as Home Secretary to put in place the laws and support to reduce the use of cannabis. I think it was wrong when I smoked it, she said, and I think I've learnt my lesson. She said she'd not informed the Prime Minister of this when he appointed her to the post of Home Secretary, and he had not asked her about any previous drug use.
Some BBC executives are likely to be suspended while reviews take place into the 6 phone-in competitions that deceived the public. The Director-General of the BBC, Mark Thompson, called the breaches totally unacceptable and said in future there would be a zero-tolerance approach. A study at St Thomas's Hospital in London has found an increase in alcohol-related injuries since the licensing laws were relaxed. The researchers believe their findings represent a general pattern throughout A&E departments nationwide, but the government says they reflect the experience of just one hospital. The world's biggest nuclear power plant may be closed for more than a year for safety checks in the wake of a powerful earthquake in Japan. The tremor caused radiation leaks at the plant in the northwest of the country on Monday. There are fears the closure could lead to power shortages in Japan. Tony Blair's returning to the international stage as the envoy for the Quartet, the group trying to bring peace to the Middle East. It's his first meeting with representatives from the EU, the US, the UN and Russia in his new role. Our correspondent John Devitt is in Lisbon, where the conference is taking place, and he's been looking at Mr. Blair's new job.
By its nature, the Quartet is a fragile coalition of often conflicting interests. President Bush is likely to be Mr. Blair's key ally, and the President's recent support for an international conference on the Middle East will be a boost to Mr. Blair's agenda. But without a power base of his own, Mr. Blair will be vulnerable to opposition from a wide range of vested interests, including those who believe he's discredited by his close association with Washington.
Voters are going to the polls in 2 by-elections today. They're being held in Ealing Southall in West London and Tony Blair's former constituency, Sedgefield, in County Durham. Researchers from a university in Baltimore have concluded that if people in the United States carry on gaining weight at the current rate, 3/4 of them will be classified as fat by 2015. The study described obesity as a public health crisis. And the weather, much of the country will be dry and bright, although parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland may have some showers. BBC News, it's 9:03. We'll have more at 10.
I hope you were listening to what you were reading there.
I always listen to what I read.
I can tell you.
Yes?
You need to look to yourself here.
About the obesity? Yeah. I thought so.
Lose a few pounds.
Oh, yeah.
88 to 91 FM.
Being fat makes me so jolly.
BBC Radio 2.
Of course, being a racing snake myself, I just don't understand that.
I heat up, I can't cool down. Got me spinning round and round, round and round, and round it goes. Where it starts. Every time you call my name, I heat up like a burning flame, full of desire. Just pray that the fire get higher. Yeah, I heat up, I can't cool down. My situation goes down, down, down. I heat up, I can't cool down. My situation goes down, down.
Abracadabra. Yes, indeed. I see I've been invited to a regatta. An urban regatta in Finsbury Square. Yes, that's what it's according to the handout. Yes, a regatta without water, a boat without bottoms. It's just an excuse to drink. And, of course, as you know, something like that, lips that touch alcohol shall never touch mine. And good morning to yourself. Good morning to you, Norman McIntosh, the grand man himself and the beautiful Hells. With your impending holidays, long overdue and thoroughly deserved, of course, can you give a big up to the sales of Radio 2's Janet and John Reloaded? Yes, indeed. A double CD, 40 new Janet and John stories, read by some Egypt, and a bonus CD with all sorts of goodies. An exclusive recording by Beth Nielsen Chapman, news outtakes with Radio 2's very own Ken Bruce, and even the odd exotic film production. Early video footage of yourself and a special Pudsey screensaver. What a bargain! How much is this? 15 quid. Is that all? Including post and packaging? Great heavens. Well, www.togscalendar.org, and that's where you can also have a look at this card that we got donated to us by the greatest cartoonists in Britain. Or send a cheque made payable to Togs Calendar for £15 to Togs Calendar, P.O. Box 695, Newport, South Wales, NP24ZU. All proceeds from the sale of the CD, of course, go straight to children in need. And, of course, the first Janet and John CD is still available, and that's £10. Same old place, www.togscalendar.org. And do keep helping us on Children in Need.
Today's Friday, it is my day to do what I want. Mama can tell me I'm going nowhere, I'm just a prisoner of my fate. Would you come along, bring me in? Could you come along, bring me in? Bring me in.
Come along, bring me
Gold spot. Friday. Let's not be wishing our life away. So, Neil Stevenage, the geriatric biker, this is no way to be talking about Johnny Walker. Biker, certainly. Geriatric, well, he's going to be standing in for you for the next couple of weeks. Well, sitting in. We can't ask him to stand. Why not go for a radical change? What about, in your absence, Paris Hilton and Posh Spice? They'd make excellent co-presenters, bring a bit light-hearted frivolity to the show for once. Yes, it would be awesome, wouldn't it? Oh, Major. Yet again, the blindingly obvious. There's been a blindingly obviously piece of research done again this morning. There's one done every morning. Yeah. In this case, by the hospital A&E department, St. Thomas's. And the government said, no, that only reflects the view of one hospital. Come on now. If the amount of time during which people are allowed to get drunk is increased, they'll get drunker. So why were the politicians unable to work this out? After all, it's simply an extension of the laws of thermodynamics. That's true, B, and of course we're familiar with that. So the number of alcohol-related injuries has soared since the new licensing laws were introduced. Could this have anything to do with your little stumble down the stairs recently, Barry? Why do I get the blame for everything? The good Major is with us today. Major Charles King of the Salvation Army. In a moment. That's the Kane Gang. Closest thing to heaven. Well, it's nearly 17 minutes past 9, so it's about time that this good man, who's the editor-in-chief of the Salvation Army's international headquarters, Major Charles King. Good morning, mate.
Morning, Jerry. I was going to say morning 40.
It's quite, well, exactly, because the Thames Ditton Tart says, I heard you refer to the posh interview on Tuesday morning. She kept saying things, well, Major, if they were good, you see. So, morning, Major. Each time I hear you say it reminds me of something else. It reminded the Thames Ditton lady about Basil Fawlty, of course. He used to say whenever because he thought the Major was quite good class, so he was quite nice to the Major and very rude to everybody else.
Well, I'm quite right.
The old public school training, you see. Yes, be absolutely suck up to everybody above you and then kick people who are beneath you. Yes. Morning, Major.
Good morning, 40.
That's it.
Papers come yet?
Excellent. Memories. Well, it's good to have you with us, Charles. And
thank you, Terry.
I know you have plenty to worry about.
Well, talking about papers, it was in the motoring column of my daily newspaper, of all places, that informed me this week that only half of Westminster Abbey is the original building.
What's that doing in the motoring column?
I had no idea. It was just one of those throwaway lines. And if anyone wonders which half, it's not as simple as that. It seems all the bits and pieces of repairs and replacements over the centuries now add up to half the building. Now, I find that hard to believe, but even if it's true, it doesn't matter. Westminster Abbey is still Westminster Abbey. It's not the same as the broom that lasted 4 years with just 4 new heads and 3 new handles. Our society here in the UK, our national life, is a bit like the Abbey. Aspects of it can change without altering its basic nature. But that doesn't happen automatically. Watching Grand Designs on television this week, I heard the presenter say that when it comes to the restoration of ancient buildings, the important thing is integrity. The new bits have to be faithful to the old. Well, the United Kingdom can't stay the same forever, but if we value such traditions as freedom and justice and equality, then the changes we make to the way we live also need to have integrity. A hot topic at the moment is how long terrorist suspects can be held without trial. I don't want potential suicide bombers on my train any more than anyone else does, but nor do I want potentially innocent people banged up for months without a judge being persuaded there's a good reason for it. Such issues are not easy ones, and we all need to take an interest in them. That's what democracy is all about. Governments can be changed like broom handles without any great risk, but our long-prized traditions are the foundations of our national life and should be treasured and preserved.
Do you know, I hate to say it, but I agree with you.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Now, Charles, I know that you're not normally on a Thursday, but in fact, you and the good Baroness Julia Neuberger, did you consult with anybody before you didn't make this change?
Oh, we just have this arrangement between us.
Oh, very nice.
I am a real major, by the way, Terry. I'm not a sound engineer sitting in this morning.
Thank goodness for that, otherwise we'd all be in trouble again. You're not giving any prizes away, are you?
No, afraid not, no.
I'm afraid neither is Ken Bruce this morning.
No.
It's ridiculous.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home, a long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes a long way from home, a long way, a long way, a long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a bird in the sky. Sometimes I feel like a bird in the sky. Sometimes I feel like a bird in the sky. A long way, a long way, a long way from home.
Beth Nielsen Chapman. You can't buy that anywhere. What you have to do is buy Janet and John Reloaded, because it's exclusive to that double album, which also has Ken Bruce making a fool of himself, the grand tradition of Children in Need, and also Johnny Marsh's outtakes, which are disgusting. But anyway, www.togscalendar.org if you would know more for Janet and John Reloaded, or indeed the original Janet and John Part the First. Worth your while. Mind, I'm biased. This is nice. Ken Bruce will be with you in a nonce.
Where your eyes is dark as night, paint your face with what you like. Where your love like it is made of hate, born to destroy and born to create. Now baby, what you done to your hair? Is it just the same time of year when you think that you don't really care? Now baby, what have you done to your hair? So when you hear this song, clear your heads and get ready to run. So when you hear this song, remember the best times are yet to come. Now baby, what you done to your hair? Is it just the same time of year when you think that you don't really care? Now baby, what have you done to your hair? Where your eyes is dark as night, I paint your face with what you like. Where your love like it is made of hate, born to destroy and born to create. Born to create.
That's the Manic Street Preachers. Autumn Song. Many of the records this morning appear to point to us wishing our lives away. Hey. A piece of forced jollity here. And why wouldn't you laugh? Isn't Ken Bruce coming up? The Trems.
He's walking along that lonely mile, and every time I do, I keep seeing this picture of you. Here comes my baby, here she comes now, and that comes as no surprise to me. With another guy, well, here comes my baby, here she comes now. Walking with a love that's oh so fine, never to be mine, no matter how I try. You never walk alone, and you're forever talking on the phone. I tried to call you names, but every time it comes out the same. Here she comes now, and then it comes as no surprise to me. With another guy, well, here comes my baby. Here she comes now, walking with a love that's oh so fine, never to be mine, no matter how I
I can't whistle. Good man, Ken.
I can, yeah.
Is that you?
Even with an abscess, I can whistle.
How is your abscess?
Oh, it's diminishing by the day, thank you.
That'll be the drink that's fixing that for you, is it?
Don't mention drink, I'm not allowed it.
I know.
A real friend wouldn't even have raised the broached topic at all.
Look,
No.
Here's another friendly, friendly little thought.
We always like that.
Our pal Frank of Stevenage.
Oh, good.
There must be a high state of panic in the next-door studio this morning.
Panic!
Thanks to that edict from on high, Ken has a rather large hole in his programme. His phone-in Popmaster quiz will have to be abandoned. The only thing he can fill the hole will be Lynn Bowles.
Oh, God.
Has she got a song and dance act ready?
Has it come to that?
Is she ready?
I mean, losing Popmaster for a day is bad enough, but Lynn Bowles doing her Wilson, Keppel and Betty Sand dance. Perhaps she'll do the paper tearing for us.
No, she'll do the things she used to do on Cabaret.
Oh, for God's sake. No, I hope not. Please, no.
Yes. Kick those legs in the air.